What's going on, guys? TKD 123 review, and today it might not be Sunday. I feel like I might upload this a little bit more, maybe on Saturday or whatever, something like that, just because it has been backed up with a lot of music content, guys. I might even put out a second review this weekend, so definitely look on the channel for that. And today we're going to be reviewing a new album here by an artist that I have never really fully, I have like heard of him, but never, again, listened to him in any album or whatever like that. So today we're going to be reviewing Dave East's Paranoia, A True Story. Now, just to go over some logistics of the album, it is 13 songs and a really short 43 minutes, so definitely a shorter album here. But even going back and listening to how long this album really is, it doesn't feel 43 minutes. It feels definitely longer than that, and there's a lot of reasons why I'm sure we'll go into in the review, but it definitely does feel longer than it actually is. Just keep that in mind, that you'll be getting a little bit more of songs that are pretty short. You'll get a lot of audio cues, a lot of different things that we're going to talk about as well in this review, but definitely shorter when it comes to song by song basis. Now we have a few people that are on this album that are not Dave East, and they're just accompanying songs, but they are really good here. We have French Montana, Chris Brown, Nas, Wiz Khalifa, and Jeezy, as well as another artist that goes by the name of, I think, Jazzy, I believe her name is. She's not really in the spot for another artist here on this song, but she's definitely here around this album, and it's really good as well. So definitely I feel like the features definitely do shine in this to a high degree. They all do super well, really good stuff, and I really do appreciate those features, and those features even make some of the best songs on this whole entire project. Now going in here, right, you are gonna see a lot of skits in this thing. There's, I think, 3 of them. The first one is a little bit more of just a conversation with some few people, and they're talking about Nas and stuff like that, and it's Dave East coming up and talking to them and stuff like that. And then we have a one where it's, I believe, Dave East's daughter, which I'm assuming is his daughter, and they go on for arguably a little bit too long, honestly. Like, I feel like, all right, okay, I get it, you want to put your kid in it, and obviously it has a lot of personal, kind of salt and kind of, just kind of a little bit of a personal flair to the actual project and everything. I definitely do, don't feel like it's a bad thing, but I do feel like that skit went on a little bit too long. I feel, honestly, you can make a point for all of them. All the skits go on a little bit too long, and maybe that is also why it feels like this whole project is so much longer than it actually is, because I'm not gonna say it was half of the album, but a pretty decent chunk of this project is skits, what I'm saying, and it really does show when you listen to it, from track 1 to track 13, and I really do hear all those skits, because it's a lot, and they do run for quite a while, I'd say. So definitely that's where I feel right there. And there was another one that was my favorite skit, and it was I believe it was a father figure, or even Dave East's father, directly talking to the group of people that were in the first skit, and he just makes a comment that is so funny. It's really funny. It's a really good stuff, and it's definitely a humorous skit right there. So definitely, there are skits, please expect that. Now, actually going into the album now, this album took a lot of time to grow on me, right? I've listened to it ever since, I think I started 5 days ago or something like that, and it really did take a long time for me to really appreciate the songs, to really do enjoy the songs, because I ended up enjoying this album for what it was. I definitely did end up enjoying it, but just with the many issues of the skits being too long, and there's just some stuff where I didn't really like his flow in some songs that I felt that it really did need a little bit of time for me to marinate on, and that is why I give myself a lot of time, because you will often find yourself hating an album on its first impression, then you go on and you listen to it a little bit more and more, and you get more out of it, and you end up loving the album. And that happens a lot, and if you do the review in that time of you hating it, then you're kind of misleading the review overall, right? So that is what I try to do here on the channel, and definitely this is a fun example of how that is actually in play here. Just to go over some of my favorite tracks here, the one with Wiz Khalifa, Phone Jumping, that one is so good. Oh my god, that beat is fire. It is a great track overall. Wiz Khalifa does an exceptional verse on this track. Definitely do enjoy that song a lot. It really does. It's such a fun song. Like, there's a lot of moments here that are really fun in this album, and you can hear Dave East having fun on the beat, and you're really just just giving good flows and everything. So definitely do appreciate Phone Jumping with Wiz Khalifa. And then there is basically, I feel like Chris Brown basically stole the song Perfect in a way, because it definitely does feel a lot like a Chris Brown song in a lot of ways. Chris Brown's on it a ton, and he is doing the main chorus to the song, so he's definitely in there in a lot of ways and everything. And overall, I feel like low-key, this is a Chris Brown song that just Dave East is featuring in, because that's what it just sounds like. And it is, of course, a great Chris Brown track, obviously. I mean, great Dave East track. You know what I'm saying? See right there, like, you know, it just sounds a lot like a, you know, like a Chris Brown track. I would not have been surprised if the background to this story was that, you know, Chris Brown had this song in, you know, like in his vault, whatever, and he gave it to Dave East to use on this album. So definitely do appreciate that song as well. Chris Brown did a great job on the chorus. And then probably my all-time favorite song on this whole project is definitely Wanna Be Me. This song is super personal. I love it, and it should have been the outro in my opinion. It gets flipped out for another song in this, and I really do feel like they should just flip that, because Wanna Be Me is a great kind of period to this whole entire album, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that would have been a great outro, but hey, you know, the outro is not horrible in a sense, but Wanna Be Me is definitely, I feel like, my favorite song out of this whole project. Definitely personal. It's just super raw, super real and everything, and really does show, you know, Dave East here, and I feel like he's trying to portray a lot of things in this album. I feel like the main thing here is kind of that duality of having, you know, you growing up and you not growing up in the best circumstances, not growing up in the best intentions, the best motives, and you don't do the best things growing up. But then now, you know, he has a child that he's, you know, prominently features here on this album, and it seems like he is trying to kind of portray a way of kind of turning your life around in a very loose way, I feel. I don't know a lot about Dave East. I don't know a lot about his background. I don't know a lot about, you know, who he is as a person, but just, you know, garnering from this album, you know, only specifically, I feel like that's definitely what he's trying to highlight here, is that duality of, like, you know, in this album, you hear him hanging out with his friends, you hear him talking about Nas, you hear, you know, just him, you know, with the boys, and then a couple tracks later we hear him with his daughter, right? And so I feel like that is definitely showing that duality that I think that he was trying to portray here a lot on Paranoia. There's also, of course, the French Montana Maneuver song, which is absolutely great as well. And you know, French Montana sounds a little bit weird here. I don't know if it was the way he was enunciating some things, but he definitely did sound a little bit off to me. I don't know, maybe I don't know, like maybe I'm just tripping. Like, I could be just tripping, but he just sounded a little bit weird to me, you know, just my opinion here on this track. I don't know what it was, but overall it was a great track. I definitely did enjoy French Montana. Like, every time French is on the track or French is on the album, I definitely do check it out because I'm a big fan of French Montana. So overall, he does really good in this album, and that is, you know, nothing to be surprised about. And the last thing I wanted to bring up here, you know, in terms of just like kind of just individual songs here, was the song Jazzy. Track 5 on Jazzy, it's an interlude, and that is so, I don't know who this chick is. I want to know her name right now. I want to get some EPs from this chick because she sounds absolutely immaculate. It's such a, and there was something about Jazzy, right? I don't know what, now look, now the contents of the song doesn't really scream relaxation, right? It doesn't scream, you know, just a vibe, you know, as opposed to this whole album where I feel like a lot of, you know, Dave East rapping is definitely a relaxed, more chill, more somber, not somber, but just more of a chill, relaxed type of sound to it, right? Where you can just listen to the flow and it sounds great overall. But Jazzy, something that, you know, not even the lyrics, because the lyrics definitely are not, you know, really that relaxing whenever they're literally just talking about sex, but, you know, the actual sounds that Jazzy portrays here and the actual sound of how the song goes is definitely something that is so soothing. It sounds great overall. I'm in love with that track. That's arguably also my second favorite, you know what I'm saying? Of course, Wanna Be Me is definitely my top one here on this album, but definitely I love Jazzy as well. So overall, you know, would I recommend this album from Dave East? For me, just having a first impression of Dave East with this album, I haven't heard a album that he has done in the past or stuff like that, or any EPs, any projects, but overall, just from this first impression, I definitely did enjoy it for a lot of reasons. And of course, it has its downfalls with skits being kind of running a little bit too long in my opinion, but overall, this album is definitely something that I feel that you should definitely be listening to, and it is definitely one of the better ones of the year, definitely one of the better ones that I listened to and I have reviewed over the past few months, everything, stuff like that. So definitely did enjoy Dave East's Paranoia, A True Story. On that note, if you all enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and down below. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.